So I learned not to be a martyr, so to speak. I've learned to do things for myself first. And I just feel like God will give me that overflow of blessing where I have enough to give to others. You know,
Absolutely.
time, whether it be counseling someone, whether it be, you know, prior to COVID, I used to go to the nursing homes all the time and just visit people and, you know, cut their toenails and their fingernails and just make them feel good about themselves. You know, and all of that stuff sort of changed during COVID.
Yeah.
And I've been able to go back in and do that. But then God has shifted my life in a different direction. My platform has changed.
Wow. Wow. Whew, what a powerful story. So I'm sure with everything that you have been gone through, you went through, and how you came out of it stronger and wiser, and now being able to help others through your work, and seeing what Mel has gone through. And I'm sure like that has like almost made it not easier, but you can understand the things that she's going through, and it has helped you, I'm sure, be there for her.
To be clear, what Melody has been through.
I know it's not even the same, but
Yeah, you know, the one thing that I can say, you know, about my ex, he wasn't ugly to me. You know,
mm,
he he never tried to do anything to hurt me or to stagnate me after we got, you know, after our marriage ended. He never did that. And when I saw Melody going through the things that she was going through, it was very new to me.
yeah,
And, you know, I think a lot of people forget that we were all family. You know, we were family. And to see someone in the family who you grew to love and
right.
cherish and, you know, pray for more than you pray for yourself a lot of times, to see how they could be so hurtful to something that they had deemed so precious to them. It was very difficult, you know, and I tell everyone, you know, that healing is a process.
Ooh.
And it's hard for you to heal from something if the person is still inflicting the pain.
Yeah, and when we met you guys 4 years ago as a family, it everything was being worked on. You know, you guys were moving along and dealing with everything that was happening in the family with the world. Did you ever imagine that it was going to end up the way it did between Mel and Martell?
No, I didn't. You know, as someone who was brought up in the church, someone who was preaching the word of God, you know, I felt like they could pray their way through it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he convinced us that he had stopped doing some of the things that he was doing. And I still don't understand how anyone thought they could be on a national television show, and if they were doing something they weren't supposed to do, it wasn't going to come out. I still don't understand that. You know, but I tell everyone, hey, he fooled me. And
Yeah.
that wasn't easy to do because, you know, I had sort of been through something similar,
Mm.
and I could see signs. But when I say there were no signs until it got really, really bad, there were no signs. You know, I think a lot of people were blindsided.
Wow. Did you, because they got together so young, they got married so young, and they had kids so young, so you knew him really well.
Hmm.
And whew, that had to be really heartbreaking to see how everything played out and how it continues to play out on national television and social media. Whew.
Right. And you know, Melody got married right out of college, and I didn't want her to, because I really wanted her, you know, to get out and experience the world. You
Yeah.
know, that was the decision that she made, and she has 4 wonderful babies as a result of it. You know, and if you asked her, she'd probably say at one point in time, the good outweighed the bad. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, with a lot of women, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we can fight as long as the good outweigh the bad. But when the bad start outweighing the good, what is there?
You got to make your decision. Yeah,
Mm.
what's best for you. We saw that How hard was it for you to find out like that he was having a child outside of his marriage? How did you find out? Did you find out with us or did you find out?
I think Melody had told me before I saw it on social media, and I think she told me so I wouldn't be caught, blindsided by it.
Yeah.
But even when she told me, let me just say this, my whole home is a prayer closet now, okay? My entire home is a prayer closet. But I started praying, oh God, please don't let it be true. Please don't let it be true. Please let her have this wrong. Please let it just be something, that the other person is putting out there, Please don't let it be true, because I didn't want my grandbabies to be forever attached to a decision that their father made at the darkest point of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want them to be forever attached to that.
Yeah.
And when I found out that it was really true, because I had prayed so much, the only thing I could say was, God, your will be done. Shield and protect my daughter and my grandbabies from what is to come. And that became my prayer. Shield and protect my grandbabies and my daughter.
Absolutely. We saw how hard it was. There was a scene where they were having a conversation with the kiddos, and I think Mariah Tank, I know he broke down. And then it was hard as a viewer for me. It was really hard to watch that conversation. How are they doing in dealing with this separation now, being another child being added? Like, how are they doing?
I think they're doing good. As good as could be expected. Melody, she has created a home and a safe, secure place for them.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're with their dad, they seem to be happy. So, I'm sure there are things that they're probably experiencing that we would not know until
Mm-hmm.
later.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
she has them in therapy, and they have really connected with their therapist. And, I've always been a listener. So I've always listened to the children, and I remain that. Anything they want to tell me, they can tell me. And even when Melody and Martell was together,
Yeah.
they would tell me some things, and I wouldn't tell their parents unless it was something that felt like, okay, they really need to know what Tank said. Okay,
Uh-huh.
what Mariah said, and I would go to them and say, hey, Tank said this or Mariah said that.
Yeah.
They've always been able to just be very open with me and talk to me, about stuff that they wanted to talk about. And I see them doing the same thing with Melody, now. They've developed that older, the kids are older now, so they're more vocal. They're able to express what they feel, what they think more.
Yeah.
And they've developed that relationship with her where I feel like, they can sit down and have a conversation with her. And if it's something that she feel like she can't handle on her own, get the therapist, and make it a point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So where does your relationship with Martell stands as of right now?
Um, I thought my relationship with Martell was headed in a good direction into the reunion.
Um,
And that sort of changed everything. And I have not spoken to him since then. We haven't had any contact.
were you surprised, like his accusations on during the reunion and some of the
I,
things he was said to you?
I was very surprised because I know that he knew the truth.
Oh,
And to see him sit there and side with others, to make it look like it was something that it wasn't, that
yeah,
was very hurtful,
yeah,
which is why I have not spoken to him. Like I said, you can't expect first of all, you can't treat my child like crap and expect for me to want to go have ice cream with you and the kids. It just doesn't work that way.
no,
And then again, you can't expect for me to heal from something when you're still inflicting the pain. Stop inflicting the pain.
right,
God is going to take over and I'm going to be able to move forward.
right,
Eventually we'll get to that point.
right.
But you can't keep inflicting the pain and getting upset because I'm not healing.
Oh, that's a word right there. Oh my goodness. Ooh. So Do you think there will ever be a time where he acknowledges his part in everything that was done to the family? I'm not even talking about like what's being done for the world to witness, but like how the family was fractured eventually.
You know what? At this point, I don't even think it's a matter of him acknowledging anything really, because what it is what it is, and you know he knows what it is. You know, so I don't even see where he has to acknowledge anything. Just change your behavior.
Period. Yeah, pretty much. So also during the reunion, well, let me go back a little bit. During the last couple of seasons, we saw that you actually had like a friendly relationship with the Scotts. You guys used to work together, and then over time, things just went sideways. Like, how did we get here?
Um, well, first of all, Melody and Martell moved me to Huntsville because they said they had a friend that they were trying to help out, and
Mm-hmm.
they was start helping him start a company, get into preservation like what they were doing, and I would come up and train on the weekends with Holden Holt staff so that I could learn how to process orders and things like that. And then eventually I moved up here, you know, with the understanding that, yeah, you know, I'm coming up here. I really, and I told them this. If I had known who I was going to be working for, I would have said no. You know, it's just, you know, it's sort of like certain companies, you're not going to even do an application with them because you know you don't want to work for that company. So, you know, when I found out I was going to be working for Martell and Marceau, oh, it was hard in the house for a minute because I was like, this is not even somebody I would want to work with. How y'all gonna pair me with them?
Uh-huh.
You know, but you know, I sold my home, I've moved, so now I've got to see it through. I don't have any choice but to see it through.
Yeah.
You know, and because they knew how unhappy I was, but they also knew that I was a go-getter. Whatever I put my hands to, I was gonna make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the light at the end of the tunnel was I was also a salesperson in real estate. The light at the end of the tunnel was, okay, I was going to go ahead and get my broker's license.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually I was going to phase out of this because, you know, I don't want to work for Martell and Marceau.
Right.
And I was supposed to be like the broker for the real estate side of Holden Holt.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, those things went down with Melody and Martell. So even though I am a real estate broker, I just decided, you know, to go back south and pursue whatever I wanted to pursue and be there for Melody and my grandkids as much as I possibly could. And
Absolutely.
like I said, I was praying that they would work it out.
Yeah.
You know, and I was hoping by me removing myself from it, they would be able to, you know, 'cause let's be real. People can say whatever they want to say, but if your child is going through something, it's going to be very difficult for you not to say something.
How can you not?
Yeah, and it's going to be very difficult for you to act like, oh, we're cool, everything's hunky dory.
Yeah.
You know? So I removed myself from it, and it got better. You know, they seem to have been making it work, and it just ended up the way it did.
Oh. Were you a little bit heartbroken to see like how everything played out with the Scotts and your relationship with them on the show?
Um, I can't say I was disappointed in how our relationship played out because those were Melody and Martell's friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never been one to hang out with my child's friends or anything like that. So even though they would be over at the house a lot, most of the time I would be upstairs with the kids. You know, they will all be downstairs having a good time laughing or doing whatever it is that they do. But, you know, it wasn't like we had that relationship where I would call them like close friends or family or anything
Right.
like that. They were just business associates, really. Now, Letitia and I, we had sort of gotten to the point where we would text each other, you know, and things like that. But no, not disappointed in the relationship going the way that it did. Disappointed in the sense that these were people that I once wished the best for,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to see succeed, to know that they could turn and attack me
Oh,
for something that didn't even have anything to do with me. There was some junk you all had going on with Martell and Melody.
yeah.
You know, now you're going to throw me in the mix by lying on me when you know that wasn't even my character when you said it. Yeah, that was hard. But, you know, life has taught me that sometimes it's the people that you support the most, that you're there for the most,
Mm-hmm.
that would do things like that to you.
Absolutely. Ooh, yeah, that was the reunion. It was a little hard to watch during that exchange. It really was hard. Did you have a relationship?
I only saw part of it.
I
You just
know.
the whole thing.
I know. I can only imagine you guys are on that stage for hours and then we get to see like 10 minutes of it, if that. What did you have a relationship with Miss Wanda before the show?
No, I did not. Um, I had only been in her presence like one time. We had, it was either a Christmas dinner or a Thanksgiving dinner at Melody and Martell's, and I was staying with them at that time. And they invited a lot of people over, and she came over with the Scots. But she and I, even on that day, we never had any conversation or anything like that. Like
Yeah.
I said, I would spend a lot of time with my grandbabies because that's why they brought me up here also, is because they were, you know, filming the reel and all that stuff for the show. And they wanted someone who could take care of the kids, and the kids could be in the home in their own environment, because when they were filming the reel and all that stuff, they had to be gone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it was good having me there, knowing that, you know, the kids were going to be taken care of and they were going to be kept on schedule and things like that. But no,
Got you.
I had not had any interactions with her.
Got you. I'm trying to gauge like what the friendship or the group dynamic was even before filming. That's why I'm asking you these questions. And I do want to get back to Miss Wanda shortly. Um, what is your relationship like with Mama Holt, Miss Marlene?
I have not spoken to her either since the reunion.
Oh.
Um, I was hoping that our relationship could have remained the same, because whenever I would come to town, I would, you know, do things with the kids, and we would always hook up with their grandma Molly, and we would do stuff together with the grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think there was an episode where she said some things that really shook me. You
I
know,
think.
like saying that, you know, she thought Melody was going to kill her son, working him so hard, you know, like Melody was laying around doing nothing, when she knew that not to be true.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't understand how people think. I really don't understand how people think you can attack someone that someone loves and they're not going to have a problem with it.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
don't understand that.
So you guys, since the reunion, no communication.
She and I have not spoken at all.
Oh.
I see the kids when they're with Melody. I make
Yeah.
sure that when it's Melody's week to have the kids, I come up to see the kids before they go back to their dads.
Yeah.
Whenever she has them, she makes sure that I speak to them, if not every morning, every other day.
Absolutely. I want to get your thoughts on this season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This season, there is a lot of different dynamics happening, especially I feel like Mel being the center of, I think, a lot of the discussion that's happening online. We see her friendship with Destiny. We see her friendship with Tisha, and then also Mel and Martell aren't filming this season. And then we also see Miss Wanda having a lot to say about Melody on Facebook Live. So let's get started. Maybe have your overall thought process of the season. I just would like to know.
I will say this. When the show first started, me, along with some of my family members, we planned our Saturdays around the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Saturdays, Love and Marriage Huntsville coming on. We got to be here at this particular time, sitting in front of the set with our steak and our potato and our Moscato. We're really excited about it. There was a time when I had to stop watching it all together, when everything was playing out with Melody and Martell, because it, you know, on screen it was toxic. So you can imagine what it was like off screen. And it triggered me so much that I would watch the show on Saturday, and then I couldn't sleep Saturday night. I couldn't sleep Sunday. It rolled over into my week. And I was like, you know what? I just need to stop watching this show. I don't
Wow.
need to watch it. I started back to watching it this season, but it's only, if I'm at home and I'm in place when it come on, I'll watch it, but I don't plan my day around it.
I can see why you say that, because it does have, like, it takes a life of its own after the show airs. And
And I think the hardest part about it is the stuff that happens on social media after. If it was just a show and people took it for what it was,
yeah,
but all of the ugly stuff that comes after that, 2020, 2021, when COVID hit, people went through some stuff. A lot
yeah,
of people lost a lot of people. It was a lot of just, it wasn't good. And for me, because I lost family members to COVID, I was just in a place where I don't want to see anybody yelling and backstabbing people
right,
and, being ugly to people. Give me something that's going to make me laugh.
yeah,
And so that's why, I stopped planning my Saturdays around it. If I'm home, if I'm home and I know I'm going to be on an episode, I might
yeah.
watch it. But I don't go out of my way to be in place to watch it.
Speaking of social media and some hurtful stuff, what have you seen online that truly has hurt you? Whether it's about you, Melody, the grandkids, like, what have you seen that just made you really upset?
People who don't even know her questioning her mother's skills.
Oh,
I think that's been the toughest thing for me, because you can't act like you know what's best for somebody's kids. You didn't give birth to them. You don't live in the home with them. You don't take care of them. And to try, what I've seen on social media lately is people pit each other against each other.
mm-hmm.
And if you're not a strong-minded person, you'll fall for it, and you will end up going down the wrong road.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like it when people try to pit Martell's parenting skills against hers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you're just going by, maybe you like this person better than you like the other.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't determine whether, she's a good mom or not.
No. Yeah.
And if you don't like him, it doesn't determine whether he's a good father or not.
Mm-hmm.
Actions may
Mm-hmm.
make you reach that conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
But, you don't live in the home, so you can't make that determination just based on the fact that you don't like this person or you don't like that person.
I know. I think when we're making assumptions, it gets very dangerous about people's parenthood or livelihood. I think what we see on TV is one thing, but when we're adding our own narrative to what we don't know, that's when it becomes really tricky.
And I think it's really sad, because I think what a lot of people do, they flip stuff to be the narrative they want it to be, and it doesn't even have to be any truth in it. Just because that's the way they want it to be, it's the truth. And I think, they don't realize just how malicious and evil that can be.
Yeah.
When you don't even know a person.
I know, that makes me sad. It really is exhausting to even read about it. So I can only imagine you guys living through it. Yeah, that's a lot. So what are your thoughts on Miss Wanda going live and talking about Melody?
Ooh, let me just say this, okay? Ignorance cannot be understood. It cannot be explained. It cannot be reasoned with. And sometimes you just have to let people stay where they're at. She's not someone I would even have in my circle because of the way she moves. Not because of who she is, but because of the way she moves.
Right.
I think it's very sad, for her to seem to have such a dislike for someone who don't even fool with her.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, that she has a lot to say about Melody and what Melody does?
Like I said, you can't understand or explain ignorance. You can't. You can't even reason with it. So I don't even try to fathom why she does what she does or says what she says. But what I do know is, it backfires every time.
Yeah.
And on top of that, here's the thing. When God's favor is upon someone, you can't touch that. You may not like it. You may wish that that person didn't have God's favor, but you can't touch it. And to try to fight against that, it puts you in a very dangerous position.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not just saying that because Melody is my daughter, but I recognize that God's favor is on her life. She couldn't have went through what she went through and still excel where she has if God's favor was not on her life. Melody was ordained from my womb.
Wow, yeah.
You know, and, you know, people see, you know, what they say, you know, you see the glory, but you don't know my story. People see when she moved into this house, she had no furniture. We would sleep on air mattresses, you know, because her ex-husband, even though they had 2 full houses of furniture, he wouldn't let her take any of it. And she was determined that she was going to do it on her own without anyone's help.
Yeah.
And I would come up and, you know, the kids would be running around just as happy, you know, and so I think a lot of times we learn that things that we think we have to have, we don't have to have, and happiness is one of the things that we do need to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you said a mouthful. And everyone, I have 2 phones because I can't see the comments on my phone. That's why I keep looking down. So
but please ask some of the questions that they're asking so they won't say you showed me favoritism on this.
I know. That's what I'm trying. So give me a second. I'm trying. A lot of people are saying, preach, Miss Vanessa. They're agreeing with you. They're saying you're a #1 mom.